Biography of George Orwell. Narek Arthur Blair, pen name George Orwell. Born June 25th, 1903. Place of birth Motihari, Bihar, British India. Died January 21st, 1950. Place of death London, England. Occupation novelist, essayist, journalist, and critic. And early life and education. Orwell was born into a lower upper middle class family. His father, Richard Blair, worked in the opium department of the Indian Civil Service. In 1911, he returned to England with his mother and attended St. Cyprian's School, where he experienced class prejudice. He later attended Eton College on a scholarship but did not proceed to university. Career and early experiences. Orwell joined the Indian Imperial Police in Burma, now Myanmar, in 1922, but resigned in 1927 due to disillusionment with colonialism. His experience in Burma inspired works like Burmese Days and essays such as Shooting an Elephant. Literary career. 1. Early works, Down and Out in Paris and London, 1933, a semi-autobiographical account of his experiences with poverty. Burmese Days, 1934, a critique of British colonialism. 2. Major works, Animal Farm, 1945, a political allegory critiquing totalitarianism, particularly Stalinism, through the lens of a satirical animal rebellion. 1984-1949, a dystopian novel exploring themes of surveillance, propaganda, and authoritarianism, introducing terms like Big Brother and doublethink. Political views. Orwell was a democratic socialist and vocal critic of fascism, totalitarianism, and imperialism. He fought in the Spanish Civil War with anti-fascist forces, but became disillusioned with communist factions due to internal betrayals. Writing style. Known for clear, direct prose and incisive social and political commentary. Combined journalistic precision with literary creativity to critique societal structures. Later life and death. Orwell's health deteriorated due to tuberculosis, which he contracted in the 1930s. He spent his final years on the remote Scottish island of Jura, where he completed 1984. Died in London in 1950 at the age of 46. Or legacy. Orwell is celebrated for his prescient insights into power dynamics and his enduring critique of political oppression. His works remain relevant, influencing discussions on freedom, governance, and human rights. Famous quote, "In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." George Orwell's married life. 1. First marriage, wife, Eileen O'Shaughnessy, marriage date, June 9, 1936. Details, Orwell married Eileen shortly after his return from the Spanish Civil War. Eileen supported Orwell's writing career and worked as a secretary. They adopted a son, Richard Horatio Blair, in 1944. Eileen passed away in 1945 during surgery, leaving Orwell a widower. 2. Second marriage, Sonia Brownell. Marriage date, October 13th, 1949. Details, Sonia was a literary editor who married Orwell during his final illness. Their marriage lasted only a few months due to Orwell's death from tuberculosis in January 1950. Despite challenges in both marriages, Orwell valued companionship and support, which shaped his personal and creative life. Background of Animal Farm. Author George Orwell. Publication date 1945. Genre allegorical novella. Historical context. Orwell wrote Animal Farm as a critique of totalitarianism, particularly focusing on Stalinist Russia. The story uses a farm and its animals to satirize the Russian Revolution of 1917 and the subsequent rise of the Soviet Union. Orwell's experiences in the Spanish Civil War and his disillusionment with oppressive regimes informed the novella's themes. Title significance. The title Animal Farm represents the microcosm of a totalitarian society where animals, symbolizing humans, experience oppression. It highlights the irony of the farm's transformation from an egalitarian vision to a brutal dictatorship, mirroring the betrayal of revolutionary ideals. Main idea. The central idea of Animal Farm is the corruption of socialist ideals and the dangers of totalitarianism. It illustrates how power can corrupt and how those in control manipulate ideologies to exploit and oppress others. 1. Old Major, the visionary pig who inspires the revolution, represents Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin. 2. Napoleon, the tyrannical leader, represents Joseph Stalin. 3. Snowball, an intelligent and idealistic pig, represents Leon Trotsky. 4. Squealer, a manipulative pig who spreads propaganda, represents state-controlled media. 5. Boxer, a hardworking, loyal horse, symbolizes the exploited working class. 6. Clover, a maternal horse, represents the moral conscience of the exploited. 7. Benjamin, a cynical donkey, symbolizes intellectuals who remain passive. 8. Molly, a vain horse, represents the bourgeoisie who resist change. 9. The neglectful farmer represents Tsar Nicholas II. 10. The sheep, blind followers of authority, represent the masses. 10 themes. 1. Corruption of power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. 2. Betrayal of ideals. Revolutionary promises are subverted by leaders. 3. Class struggle. Ongoing tension between the oppressed and the elite. 4. Exploitation and oppression. The working class is exploited under different regimes. 5. The dangers of propaganda. Misuse of language to manipulate the masses. 6. Cyclical nature of history. Revolutions often replace one form of tyranny with another. 7. Naivety of the working class. Lack of critical thinking leads to exploitation. 8. Individual versus collective. Conflict between personal desires and collective goals. 9. Morality versus survival. Ethical compromises under oppressive regimes. 10. Manipulation of religion. Religion is used as a tool to pacify the oppressed. 10 literary devices. 1. Allegory. The entire novella represents real historical events and figures. 2. Satire. Critiques the absurdities of totalitarianism and blind obedience. 3. Irony. The animal's plight worsens despite their revolutionary ideals. 4. Symbolism. Characters and events symbolize historical figures and ideologies. 5. Foreshadowing. Early events hint at future betrayal, e.g. the pigs taking the milk. Number 6. Dramatic irony. Readers understand the pig's manipulation, but the animals do not. 7. Personification. Animals are given human traits to represent societal roles. 8. Repetition. Slogans like 4 legs good, 2 legs bad emphasize propaganda. 9. Allusion. References to the Russian Revolution and Soviet Union leaders. 10. Paradox. The final statement, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, exposes the hypocrisy of the pig's rule. Chapter 1. English. The story begins on Mr. Jones's manor farm, where the animals gather to hear Old Major, a wise boar, speak. He shares his dream of a farm free from human oppression and inspires them with the idea of rebellion. Old Major outlines the principles of animalism, advocating equality and justice among animals. The meeting ends with the animals singing Beasts of England, a revolutionary anthem. Mr. Jones, drunken negligent, interrupts the meeting unintentionally. The animals are left hopeful but unsure about the future. Old Major dies shortly after, leaving the animals to consider his vision. कहानी का आगाज मिस्टर जोन्स के मैनर फार्म पर होता है, जहां जानवर एक बोड़े और दानासूर ओल्ड मेजर की तकरीर सुनने के लिए जमा होते हैं। वह अपनी ख्वाब की बात करते हैं, जिसमें इंसानों के जुल्म से आज़ाद आए एक फार्मी का तस्वर पेश करते हैं। ओल्ड मेजर मसावात और इंसाफ पर मबनी यानी मुलाजमत के असूल बयान करते हैं। इजलास का अख्ताम इनकलाबी गीत बेड्स इंग्लैंड पर होता है। मिस्टर जोन्स नशे में धत और लापरवाह गैर इरादी तौर पर इजलास में मुदाखलत करते हैं। जानवर उम्मीद रखते हैं, लेकिन गैर यकीनी में हैं। जल्द ही ओल्ड मेजर इंतकाल कर जाते हैं। इनका ख्वाब जानवरों के जहन में रह जाता है। Chapter 2, English. Inspired by Old Major's speech, the pigs, led by Snowball and Napoleon, begin organizing the rebellion. They develop the philosophy of animalism, teaching it to the other animals. Mr. Jones's continued neglect sparks an unplanned rebellion when the animals overthrow him and take control of the farm. They rename it Animal Farm and establish the 7 commandments, which promote equality and animal unity. Snowball and Napoleon assume leadership roles, and the pigs begin to organize work. The farm's new beginning seems promising, with hopes of a better future. URDU. वर्ल्ड मेजर की तकरीर से मुतासिर होकर सूरों की क़यादत में स्नोबॉल और नेपोलियन बगावत की तैयारी शुरू करते हैं। वो एनिमल अज़म के फ़लसफ़े को फ़रोग़ देते हैं और दूसरे जानवरों को इसकी तालीम देते हैं। मिस्टर जोन्स की लापरवाही एक गैर मुतवक्का बगावत को जन्म देती है, जब जानवर इसे निकाल कर फार्म का कंट्रोल संभाल लेते हैं। वो फार्म का नाम एनिमल फार्म रखते हैं और 7 असूल कायम करते हैं जो मसावात और इत्तेहाद की हिमायत करते हैं। सिनोबाल और नेपोलियन क़ियादत संभालते हैं और फार्म में काम का निज़ाम बनाया जाता है। फार्म के नए आगाज़ में उम्मीद की किरण नज़र आती है। 3. English, the animals work hard to harvest the farm, experiencing the joy of their newfound freedom. Snowball takes the lead in teaching literacy while the pigs supervise the work. Boxer, the hardworking horse, adopts the personal motto, I will work harder. However, signs of inequality begin to appear as the pigs take more privileges, such as milk and apples. Squealer convinces the animals that these extra resources are necessary for the pigs to lead effectively. Despite small concerns, the animals remain optimistic about the future. Urdu. जानवर फार्म की फसल काटने के लिए सख्त मेहनत करते हैं और अपनी नई आज़ादी से लुत्फ़ होते हैं। सिनोबाल ख्वांदगी की तालीम में रहनुमाई करते हैं, जबकि सूर काम की निगरानी करते हैं। मेहनती घोड़ा बाक्सर अपना ज़ाती नस्ब इल-ऐन मैं ज़्यादा मेहनत करूँगा अपनाता है। ताहम मसावात में दरारें नज़र आना शुरू होती हैं, जैसे सूर दूध और सैब का ज़्यादा हिस्सा लेते हैं। अस्क्वेलर जानवरों को कायल करता है कि ये इजाफी वसाइल सूरों की मुअस्सर क़ियादत के लिए ज़रूरी हैं। मामूली खदशात के बावजूद जानवर मुस्तक़बिल के बारे में पुरउम्मीद रहते हैं। Chapter 4. English. News of the rebellion spreads to other farms, inspiring animals elsewhere and worrying neighboring farmers. Mr. Jones attempts to reclaim his farm with the help of other farmers, leading to the Battle of the Cowshed. Cowshed. Snowball emerges as a heroic leader, devising clever tactics to defeat the humans. The animals celebrate their victory, and medals are awarded to Snowball and Boxer for their bravery. The success strengthens the animals' belief in their cause, but underlying tensions between Snowball and Napoleon begin to surface. बगावत बखबर दीगर फार्म्स तक पहुंचती है, जो दूसरे जानवरों को मुतासिर करती है और करीबी किसानों को परेशान करती है। मिस्टर जोन्स दीगर किसानों की बेवजह दीगर किसानों की मदद से फार्म वापस लेने की कोशिश करते हैं, जिसके नतीजे में काउशेड की जंग होती है। सुनोबाला एक बहादुर रहनुमा के तौर पर उभरता है और चालाक हुकमत अमलियों से इंसानों को शिकस्त देता है। जानवर फतह का जश्न मनाते हैं और सुनोबाला और बॉक्सर को उनकी बहादुरी पर तमगे दिए जाते हैं। ये कामयाबी जानवरों के मकसद पर उनका यकीन मजबूत करती है, लेकिन सुनोबाला और नेपोलियन के दरमियान कशीदगी जाहिर होने लगती है। The power struggle between Snowball and Napoleon intensifies, culminating in Snowball's proposal to build a windmill to generate electricity and improve life on the farm. Napoleon opposes the idea, but eventually drives Snowball away with the help of his trained dogs. Napoleon seizes complete control and declares that the windmill project will proceed, claiming it as his own idea. The farm begins to change, with Napoleon's authoritarian rule becoming more apparent, and the animals find it harder to question his decisions. Urdu. सनोबाला व नेपोलियन के दरमियान ताकत की कशमकश जत्ता अख्तियार करती है, जिसका अख्तिताम सनोबाला की तजवीज़ पर होता है कि फार्म में बिजली पैदा करने और ज़िंदगी बेहतर बनाने के लिए वनमल बनाई जाए। नेपोलियन इस तजवीज़ की मुखालफत करता है, लेकिन आखिरकार अपने तरबियत याफ्ता कुत्तों की मदद से सनोबाल को भगा देता है। नेपोलियन मकमल कंट्रोल हासिल कर लेता है और ऐलान करता है कि हुंडमिल का मंसूबा जारी रहेगा और इसे अपनी तजवीज़ करार देता है। फार्म में तब्दीलियाँ आती हैं और नेपोलियन की आमरीत वाज़ेह होने लगती है, जबकि जानवर उसके फैसलों पर सवाल उठाने में मुश्किल महसूस करते हैं। Chapter 6 English. The animals begin the arduous construction of the windmill under Napoleon's orders, working harder than ever. Boxer becomes a symbol of dedication, repeating, I will work harder. However, cracks in the utopia appear as Napoleon engages in trade with humans, a violation of animalism's principles. When the windmill is destroyed during a storm, Napoleon blames Snowball, branding him a traitor. The animals, though doubtful, believe Napoleon's propaganda, and life becomes increasingly harsh under his rule. Urdu. Napoleon के हुक्म पर जानवर विंड मिल की सख्त तामीर शुरू करते हैं और पहले से ज़्यादा मेहनत करते हैं। बॉक्सर मेहनत की अलामत बन जाता है, बार-बार कहता है मैं ज़्यादा मेहनत करूँगा। अ, ताहम ख्वाबों में दरारें ज़ाहिर होती हैं जब नेपोलियन इंसानों के साथ तिजारत करता है, जो आईनी मुलाज़मत के असूलों की खिलाफ-वर्ज़ी है। जब तूफ़ान के दौरान मिल्तबा हो जाती है, तो नेपोलियन से नाबालिग को कसूरवार ठहराता है और उसे गद्दार करार देता है। जानवर अगरचे मशकूक होते हैं, लेकिन नेपोलियन के प्रोपेगेंडे पर यकीन करते हैं और उसकी हुक्मरानी के तहत ज़िंदगी सख्त होती जाती है। Chapter 7. English. The harsh winter brings famine and the animals endure great suffering. Napoleon uses fear to maintain control, conducting public purges where animals accused of conspiring with Snowball are executed. The atmosphere becomes one of terror, and the principles of animalism are further eroded. Despite the hardships, the animals cling to hope, believing that their sacrifices are for a better future. Napoleon grows more isolated, rarely appearing in public, and the pigs' privileges continue to grow. सख्त सर्दियों में कहत पड़ता है और जानवर बड़ी मुश्किलात बर्दाश्त करते हैं। नेपोलियन खौफ के जरिए कंट्रोल बरकरार रखता है और अवामी कत्ल गारत करवाता है, जहां स्नोबॉल के साथ साजिश का इल्ज़ाम लगाने वाले जानवरों को मौत के घाटा ताड़ दिया जाता है। माहौल खौफजदा हो जाता है और इन्हीं मुलाज़िम के असूल मज़ीद कमज़ोर हो जाते हैं। मुश्किलात के बावजूद जानवर उम्मीद का दामन थामे रखते हैं, ये सोचते हुए कहानी की कुर्बानियां बेहतर मुस्तकबिल के लिए हैं। नेपोलियन ज़्यादा हलगत हो जाता है और शाजू नादर ही आवाम में आता है, जबकि सूरों की मरात में इजाफा होता रहता है। Chapter 8. As Napoleon's control strengthens, the animals witness a growing disparity between their hardships and the pigs' privileges. Napoleon uses propaganda through Squealer to twist the truth, glorifying his leadership. The commandments on the barn wall are subtly altered to justify the pigs' actions. A neighboring farmer, Frederick, deceives Napoleon in a trade deal and later attacks the farm, destroying the rebuilt windmill. Though the animals manage to drive him away, they suffer heavy losses and their morale continues to decline. जैसे जैसे नेपोलियन का कंट्रोल मजबूत होता है, जानवर अपनी मुश्किलता और सूरों की मरात के दरमियान बढ़ते हुए फर्क को देखते हैं। नेपोलियन स्क्वेलर के जरिए प्रोपेगेंडा करता है, सच्चाई को तोड़ मरोड़ कर अपनी क़यादत को बढ़ा चढ़ाकर पेश करता है। गोदामों की दीवार पर मौजूद अहकाम को आस्ता आस्ता सूरों के अमाल को जायज़ करार देने के लिए तब्दील किया जाता है। एक करीबी इकसान फ्रीडरिक तिजारती माहदे में नेपोलियन को धोखा देता है और बाद में फार्म पर हमला करके विंडमिल को दोबारा तबाह कर देता है। अगर जानवर से भा देते हैं, लेकिन आने ही भारी नुकसान उठाना पड़ता है और उनका हौसला मजीद गिर जाता है। Chapter 9. English. Boxer suffers an injury while rebuilding the windmill, and despite his declining health, he continues to work. Napoleon promises care for Boxer, but secretly sells him to a glue factory in exchange for money to buy whiskey. The other animals are heartbroken when they realize Boxer's fate, but Squealer convinces them he died peacefully. Meanwhile, life on the farm becomes more oppressive, and the pigs grow increasingly corrupt, indulging in luxuries, while the other animals face starvation and exhaustion. URDU, बॉक्सर और मल्की दोबारा तामीर के दौरान ज़ख्मी हो जाता है और सेहत ख़राब होने के बावजूद काम जारी रखता है। नेपोलियन बॉक्सर की देखभाल का वादा करता है, लेकिन खफिया तौर पर उसे गुल फैक्ट्री को बीच देता है ताकि शराब खरीदने के लिए पैसे मिल सकें। जब वो सारे जानवर बॉक्सर के अंजाम को समझते हैं तो वह दिल शिकस्ता हो जाते हैं, लेकिन स्क्वेलर उन्हें कायल करता है, कहो हपर स्कोन मुत मर गया। इस दौरान फार्म पर जिंदगी मजीद सख्त हो जाती है और सूरजियाद हबदानवान हो जाते हैं। ईशु आराम की जिंदगी गुजारते हैं जब बाकी जानवर भूखा और ठंड का सामना करते हैं। Chapter 10. English. Years pass, and the farm undergoes significant changes. The pigs walk on two legs, carry whips, and adopt human-to-human behaviors. The commandments are replaced with a single rule. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The animals, now old and weary, can barely distinguish the pigs from the humans they initially rebelled against. Napoleon and the pigs form alliances with neighboring humans, symbolizing the complete betrayal of animalism's ideals. The novel ends with the animals peering through the farmhouse window, unable to tell the difference between pigs and men. साल गुजरते हैं और फार्म में नमाया तब्दीलियां आती हैं। सूर दो टांगों पर चलने लगते हैं, कोड़े उठाते हैं और इंसानी रवैये अपनाते हैं। अहकामात को एक असूल से बदल दिया जाता है। तमाम जानवर बराबर हैं, लेकिन कुछ जानवर दूसरों से ज़्यादा बराबर हैं। जानवर जवाब बोड़े और थके हुए हैं, बमुश्किल सूरों और अनंसानों में फ़र्क कर पाते हैं जिनके खिलाफ वह शुरू में बगावत करके थे। नापोलीना और सूर करीबी इंसानों के साथ हाथ करते हैं, जो आइनी मुलाजम के नज़रियात के मकमल धोखे की अलामत है। नावल का अख्ताम जानवरों के फार्म हाउस की खिड़की से झांकते हुए होता है, जहां हसूरों और इंसानों में फ़र्क नहीं कर पाते। Let me know if you'd like any further analysis or specific details. In Animal Farm, the animals establish a set of 7 commandments to govern their behavior after the rebellion. These rules are meant to guide them in creating a society based on equality and fairness. However, as the pigs gain power, they subtly alter these commandments to justify their actions. Below are the original rules and the changes made over time. Original 7 commandments. 1. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. 2. Whatever goes upon 4 legs or has wings is a friend. 3. No animal shall wear clothes. 4. No animal shall sleep in a bed. 5. No animal shall drink alcohol. 6. No animal shall kill any other animal. 7. All animals are equal. Changes to the commandments. As the pigs, particularly Napoleon, begin to indulge in human-like behavior, they alter these commandments to suit their desires. Here are the most significant changes. 1. No animal shall sleep in a bed becomes no animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets. The pigs start sleeping in beds. 2. No animal shall drink alcohol becomes no animal shall drink alcohol to excess. The pigs begin drinking alcohol. 3. No animal shall kill any other animal becomes no animal shall kill any other animal without cause. The pigs use this to justify executions of animals they deem enemies. 4. All animals are equal. Burger becomes stress. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. This is the most significant alteration, symbolizing the complete corruption of the original principles. Final rule. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. This final alteration shows how the pigs have fully embraced the inequalities they once fought against, and the original ideals of animalism have been completely betrayed. Through these commandments and their gradual modification, George Orwell illustrates how power can corrupt and how the ruling class can manipulate language and rules to maintain control. Here are 20 brief questions related to Animal Farm that can be helpful for your final term. Hashford 1. Who is the author of Animal Farm? Answer: George Orwell. 2. What event triggers the rebellion on Animal Farm? Answer: the rebellion begins after Old Major's speech about animal equality and the harshness of human oppression. 3. What is the name of the human farmer who is overthrown? Mr. Jones. 4. Which animal is considered the wise leader and gives the speech that sparks the rebellion? Answer: Old Major. 5. What is the motto of animalism? 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. 6. Which animal becomes the farm's main leader after the rebellion? Napoleon. 7. What does the phrase, all animals are equal, originally mean in the story? It symbolizes the equality of all animals and the rejection of human oppression. I Hamshar 8. What eventually happens to the commandment, all animals are equal? Answer: it is altered to all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. 9. Who is the main antagonist of Napoleon on Animal Farm? Answer: Snowball. 10. Which animal represents the working class on Animal Farm? Answer: Boxer, the strong and hardworking horse. 11. Who is the animal that spreads propaganda on Animal Farm? Answer: Squealer. 12. What do the pigs start to do that contradicts the original commandments? Answer: the pigs begin to walk on 2 legs, wear clothes, and drink alcohol. 13. What is the significance of the song Beasts of England? It is the anthem of the rebellion, symbolizing hope and the promise of a better future. 14. What does the Battle of the Cowshed represent? Answer: it symbolizes the defense of the revolution and the animals' struggle against human oppression. 15. What animal does Napoleon use to control the farm's security? Answer: the dogs. What happens to Snowball in the story? Answer: Snowball is driven out by Napoleon and becomes a scapegoat for every problem on the farm. 17. What does the windmill symbolize in the novel? Answer: the windmill symbolizes progress, hard work, and Napoleon's manipulation of the animals. 18. How does Napoleon maintain control over the farm? Answer: through fear, manipulation, propaganda, and the use of the dogs to enforce his rule. 19. Why do the animals ultimately become disillusioned with their revolution? Answer: the animals realize they are no better off than before, as the pigs have become just as corrupt as the humans. 20. What is the final ironic image in Animal Farm? Answer: the animals look through the window and see the pigs dining and socializing with humans, realizing they can no longer distinguish the pigs from the humans. These questions cover key themes, characters, and symbols in Animal Farm and should be helpful for your final exam preparation.